Welcome back to Forza Horizon 5. This is the FH5 Update 33, the Horizon Apex All-Stars update. If you like fast cars and race cars, this is the perfect update for you. We have 12 new race cars coming to this game. We have a ton of new really cool EventLab props to make even more racetrack. A fan favorite car is also getting added into the auto show. And we also have a small sneak peek of what's coming next month. All I'll say for now is it's gonna be noisy. Buckle in though. In today's video, I'm gonna tell you everything you need to know. Let's jump in. As we like to do on this channel though, let's start things off with the festival playlist. We have 5 cars to talk about in here. And let's start it with this thing. This is the 2013 Chevy Summit Pro Stock Camaro. It is finally here. We have a Pro Stock drag car. The way you unlock this thing is by getting 80 points in the festival playlist throughout the entire month, so it will take a little bit of work, but I think it's worth it for a proper drag car. They run in excess of 1,300 horsepower. They can do a quarter-mile drag strip in 6.5 seconds at over 200 miles an hour. They are unbelievable. Honestly, this is going to be the fastest accelerating stock car in any Forza game by miles. And I honestly have no idea what to expect for it. Since we've never had one of these sorts of cars, I don't know what upgrades to expect for it. Like, obviously, this thing is rear-wheel drive bone stock, but will we be able to make it all-wheel drive and make it even faster off the line? Are we going to be able to give it even thicker rear tires to put the power down? Are we going to be able to upgrade the horsepower even more? Or can we just do some crazy stuff and give it drift suspension? I have no idea. Anyways, long story short, if you actually go and do pretty much everything you can in the festival playlist, you're going to be able to get this car as early as next Thursday. That's when I'm going to be uploading a video about it. So if you want to see that, make sure you're subscribed because it should be a really, really interesting one. Anyways, now we can move over to the 4 remaining cars. Each of these cars is going to be unlocked one each week by getting 20 points during its respective week. And let's start it off with week number 1 and this. The 2016 Ford GT Le Mans car, number 66. You might actually remember this thing, though, from back in the day because it was one of the race cars that was featured in Forza Horizon 3. And yes, we are getting proper race cars again in FH5. I don't know if I'm the only one, but I love it when the developers add these proper race cars, these proper track cars into Forza Horizon. We can drive them around in the open world. It was one of my favorite things to do in FH3, and we're gonna be able to do it again in FH5. What's actually kind of funny about this car that you may not know is this is the number 66 one, but in real life in 2016, it was the number 68 that actually won Le Mans, and then it was actually number 69 that came 3rd, and the number 66 actually finished 4th. Regardless, though, I love this car. I love these race cars. They look fantastic. They're so much fun to drive, and I think you'll see why I like this month's update so much. Because if we move on to week number 2, we can unlock this thing, the 2021 Hyundai Elantra N TCR race car. If you've ever driven the Lincoln Co. or the MG TCR cars in FH5, this is another one of the cars that competes in the TCR class in real life. They are straight up some of the coolest race cars out there. They are front wheel drive with an absurd amount of horsepower, these big rear wings, and when you take a corner hard enough, they pop on to 3 wheels. They are insane. What's actually fun about the TCR cars in Forza Horizon 5 is, for some reason, I've always found them to be great drifting cars. So be on the lookout for this Elantra N to maybe break some personal bests. I'm certainly going to give it a go. We can move on to week number 3, though, and this is where we get into what I think might be my favorite car in this month's update, maybe even more so than that drag car. This is the 2005 Mitsubishi Evo Time Attack car. And don't get me wrong, as crazy as all of the looks are, that is also not the craziest bit. The engine in this thing is magical. It's a little 2-liter, like a 2.2-liter turbo 4-cylinder built by Cosworth, and I'm not even joking, puts out over 800 horsepower. That is absolutely absurd. This thing in real life was one of the world's fastest time attack cars. It actually competed out in Australia for a couple of years, and it is crazy. Again, this is one of those cars that I kind of look at in Forza Horizon 5 and I go, I have no idea what upgrades, what customization is going to be available for it, because it's already going to be insanely quick. I would imagine being able to lift this thing up and toss on some off-road race tires, it's going to be an insane little rally car. But it's just like, if you can put full slicks on it and give it even more power, it's going to be dumb fast. Last but not least, the fifth car that you can unlock during week number 4 is this thing. The 2017 Porsche 911 RSR. You might actually recognize this car, though, from one of two places. Number one, it's in the new Forza Motorsport. It's actually one of the cars I drive the most in the new Forza Motorsport. It's a great car. Or number two, if you ever come around my live streams on Twitch, well, it's the car that's actually in the background of my live stream. Anyways, these RSRs are incredible race cars. They put out like 500 horsepower from a flat 6 engine. They are straight up incredible little race cars, and again, I can't wait to unlock it. That's the end of the festival playlist, though, for this month's update. However, it is far from the end of new cars. Like I said at the start of this video, a fan favorite is getting added into the auto show, and that fan favorite is the Corvette ERay. Previously to this month's update, the only way that you could unlock it was by playing the new Forza Motorsport game. Now that campaign is officially over. The developers are adding it to the auto show, so you can buy as many of them as you'd like. That also means the Corvette ERay is no longer one of the rarer cars in this game, and now one of the most common cars in this game. So if you don't have one, go check it out. It's a really cool car. It's got a really cool body kit for it, so I hope you like it. It's also like 180,000 credits, so it's pretty affordable too. Real quick though, let's put a pause in talking about new cars. We'll come back to them in a second. I quickly wanted to talk about the EventLab because we are getting 22 new props to go and make racetracks with. The developers are adding in 8 new road racing parts that all snap together so you can go and continue to make all of the roads and racetracks and layouts that you want. They are also adding in 15 new elevation props and a new collectible that you can kind of like add to your maps to make them look cool. I know the EventLab isn't everyone's favorite thing, but if the developers keep adding things like this, I think just more racetracks are gonna be made in Forza Horizon 5, which is cool. And it's even cooler when we talk about these new cars, because this is the new Apex Allstars Car Pack. And this is a straight up car pack for the race car fans. If you enjoy race cars and track cars, you are gonna love this pack. And if you don't, you're gonna skip this one. It includes 7 new cars for Forza Horizon 5 at a price of $10. I have some opinions. We'll get to that. Let's talk about the cars first. Since we have so many cars, we're gonna go kind of rapid fire, and let's start it with this thing. The 2018 BMW M8 GTE car, or as I like to call it, the world's biggest car. Anyways, the M8 GTE car is a fantastic car. It's got like 600 horsepower, 500 foot-pounds of torque. I think it weighs just less than 3,000 pounds. Sick car to race around in. Should be a fun one. Car number 2 is this thing, the 2015 Cadillac ATS VR. It's actually got the exact same stats as that BMW for the most part. Car number 3 is one of my personal favorite cars. This is the Corvette C8.R. It is a lovely, I don't know what you'd classify it as, like a GTE car or a GT3 car. Regardless, these things are fantastic and I love them. Another one of my personal favorites is this thing. I've always been a big fan of these Mercedes AMG GT3 cars, and this one's actually a little bit interesting because all of the cars I've already mentioned have actually been part of a race team. They've been like number 60, number 20, number 69, haha. This Mercedes AMG GT3 car actually is not part of a race. There is no paint job for it. There is no number on the side. You can kind of turn it into whatever race car team you want by putting your own paint job on. Car number 5 in the DLC pack is this, the 2020 Lexus RCF GT3 car. This thing's got a big old V8 motor, kind of American. It puts out like 500 horsepower again. Fun little race car. Car number 6, we're heading to Italy. Would it really be a racing car pack if we didn't have a Ferrari in it? This is the Ferrari 488 GTE car. If it's anything like that Ferrari Clientele Corsa car that we've already got in the game, this thing should be lovely to drive. And the 7th and final car is this thing, the Porsche 911 GT3R. It's essentially like a Porsche Cup car. Very cool car, puts out like 500 horsepower. And actually the same way as that Mercedes was not part of a team, this Porsche is also not part of a team, so it's just painted white, no number on the side. Here's the thing with this car pack though, as much as I love these race cars and I love race cars in Horizon, I kind of have 2 problems with this car pack. Actually, I kind of have 3. Number 1, all of these cars are actually already available in Forza Motorsport. So if you buy this car pack and you already have Forza Motorsport, just be aware you're kind of paying for the same thing twice. Sort of, kind of. Not a problem, just a thing you should know. The 2 problems I have with this car pack, though, is if you rewind time back to 2016 and Forza Horizon 3, FH3 had a car pack with a bunch of race cars. That car pack came out in 2016. It included 10 cars for $10. Obviously, if you do the math there, that's $1 per car. Fast forward 8 years to 2024 and FH5, we have this car pack, 7 cars for $10. If you do the math, that's about $1.42 per car. And I know you can shout costs of goods have gone up and inflation has gone up, but 42% in the span of 8 years? That's a lot. And honestly, I don't think that's actually the biggest problem with this car pack. The bigger problem with this car pack, though, is that these cars are kind of old. The newest car in this car pack is from 2020. All of these cars no longer race pretty much in like competitive series. I would have no problem paying $10 for a car pack like this if it included cars that came out like last year or are even being used in this season. The fact that these cars though are 4 years old is a little disappointing, I'm not gonna lie. It definitely doesn't take away how cool these cars are. They're still gonna be fun to drive around, providing the developers give us like some fun customization with them and so on and so forth. But if you ask me, I would have much preferred to see some newer GT3 cars and GT4 cars even. Anyways, the last thing we need to talk about is what's coming next month. The developers shared this with us, the Horizon Retro Way. We are getting a new music station, and by the sounds of it, maybe some retro songs. I don't know anything more than that, so we'll have to see. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye.